Hi, today we are talking about displaying data using graphs in this investigation. And let's see, I'm getting out my colors. The thing that I love about graphing is that you can have an automatic understanding of what your data is. And it's really fun. So let's begin. One of the things that you need to do is understand some of the vocabulary. A legend or a key is what the symbols of a graph mean. In this instance, right here this would represent our legend or our key. And because of this information, we know that each plate for this pictograph represents 2 students. So the title of this pictograph is Favorite Lunches of Students in Room 12. And I'm thinking these people are kind of special based on the fact that tuna is almost as popular as pizza. But we'll keep going. The title is Favorite School Lunches of Students in Room 12. Now, how many types of lunches were shown? We have chicken, tuna, turkey, and pizza. So we have 4 different types of lunches. And how can you tell how many students chose a particular lunch as their favorite lunch? And I don't even know what the L means. Tells us that the legend. Ha! See, are we getting this? The legend, which is that little box that that little part that I drew a circle of right up here, shows us that each whole picture represents the choice of 2 students. We count the pictures and multiply by 2 to find the number. How many students named chicken as their favorite? I look back. I have 3 plates, and we say that there are 3 whole pictures of chicken, and we know that 3 plates represents 2 students, so 3 times 2 is 6. So 6 students chose chicken as their favorite. Now, how many students chose tuna? This is an interesting scenario because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 plates and a half. Let's think about this. There are 4 whole pictures. So we say 4 plates times 2 equals 8. So we have 8 students. And then half a plate, there is 1 half picture, so I added 1 more student because a whole plate, remember, represents 2. So a half a plate should be 1. And so when we add the 1 and the 8, our sum is going to be 9. So 9 students named tuna as their favorite. The picture graph shows the favorite lunches of how many students? Good question. Let's go back and look. We can figure out how many students based on the number of plates that we have. So let's count how many plates. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to count holes first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 plus 2 halves give me a total of 15 plates. So there are 14 whole pictures. 14 times 2 equals 28. And there are 2 half pictures, which represents 1 and 1. So 28, that shows, the choice of 2 more students. Guys, so we say 28 plus 2 equals 30. So we have 30 students in total for room 12. Next off, we have a bar graph where the it's labeled to show our data. So the label along the vertical, and when I think vertical, I think of the letter V, V, and how it goes up and down. And horizontal, I think of the letter H and how this part goes this way. So that's horizontal. This is vertical, up and down. What is the label along the vertical side, left side of the graph? It's number of students. Along the vertical left side of the graph are marks and numbers right here. What does the number 8 stand for? Well, based on the title, we know that there are 8 students. And that is something I need to mention. All of our graphic organizers and our bar graphs, it becomes critical that they're labeled, or else we're just looking at lines with nothing to give us an idea of the data that's behind them. So labeling is important. Which bar is the tallest and what does it mean? Well, obviously, pizza is the most popular because out of this, 10 students picked pizza more than any other. So the tallest bar is for pizza. That means that pizza is the favorite lunch of more students in room 12 than the other lunch on the graph. How many more students named tuna than turkey? Well, we have to look. Tuna's halfway, so we're thinking this looks like it's going to be 9. Turkey is halfway, so it's not 4 and it's not 6. So I'm thinking that it will be 5 right here. So we have 9 here, 5 here. Let's go back and do the data. If we know the difference, then we subtract the number who named turkey for the number who named tuna, which, and this would be 9 minus 5, and the difference is 4. 4 more students named tuna rather than turkey. Now, line graphs are information that's showing change over time. Let that soak in for a minute. Line graphs are graphs that show information that changes over time. So when you see a line graph, you start to look at the period of time. So here we go. Here is Jamil's height from when he was born until he was 10 years old. You can see that he's been growing kind of a steady amount. This shows his age, and this shows his height as he's been growing. So what does the 8 in the horizontal, remember that means this direction. Think of 8, the middle of H. What does the 8 on the horizontal mean? It shows that Jamal turned 8, right there. And how tall was Jamil on his 4th birthday? Well, we look at the 4 and we go all the way up and we notice it's right here and we look over. Jamal was 40 inches. How did you find your answer? I found the 4 on the scale. I went up from the 4, then I looked to the vertical scale and saw that the height was 40 inches. During which year did Jamal become 45 inches tall? So we have 40 right here and we have 5 right here, so we have to go boom, 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 right here. And how we go down? When he was 7, he was 45 inches tall. So I'm going to scroll down. I found the inches on the vertical side of the scale. I went straight to the right to the graph. From there, I looked down to the age and saw that Jamal was between his, let's look, 45. It looks like it was right about here between his 6th and 7th birthday. When he became 45 inches tall. See, I'm looking. We are going to hurry quickly. During Jamal's, the graph of Jamal's height is steep during the first few years and then becomes less steep. What does the change in steepness mean about Jamal's growth? During Jamal's early years, he grew fast. As he became older, his height changed more slowly. Now, one final graph is the circle graph. This shows how Vanessa spends her whole day. So they've taken it and chunked it up into something that looks similar to a pie. And you can see that she spends most of her time sleeping and at school, with these other little slippers representing homework, TV, and soccer practice and eating. So they're going to ask, which slice of this circle graph is largest? And clearly we can see that it's not school, but it is sleeping. Man, lucky Vanessa. What does it mean? It means that Vanessa spends most of her time sleeping than any other activity. Together, school and homework equal how many hours in Vanessa's day? We know 6 plus 7 is 16. 9 plus 7 is 16 hours. What is the total number of hours represented by the circle graph? I have had kids count every single thing, not looking at this is for the whole, noticing that this is representing the entire day. We know what the entire day is. We know that there are 24 hours. According to the graph, Vanessa is awake how many hours of each day? We just take 24 and subtract 9 from it. 24 hours minus 9 is, we've got to think about it, 15 hours. So we subtract. And there we have it. So good luck on this. I love graphs. I hope you do too. I hope you're paying attention to how graphs are used, because you will find them popping up everywhere. Line graphs, circle graphs, pie charts, there's what they're sometimes referred to, bar graphs, and pictographs. Now you know how to read them. So that means that you're prepared to interpret some data. You're also prepared to collect data and make your own graphs. Hey, have a great day.